Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm going to show you how to create Azure Keyvault resource from Azure Portal. Let's jump in. Yeah, currently I'm in Azure Portal. I already created a new resource group, uh, and within this resource group, we are going to create a Azure Keyvault resource. So once you are in resource group, just click on Create button and search for the Key Vault, and you can see the Key Vault resource. So within the Key Vault, the first section is basics, basic details we need to provide in order to create the Key Vault. First one is subscription. You can select subscription. So by default, subscription will get automatically selected, and a resource group. And you can select the existing resource group, or you can create a new resource group. And the Key Vault name, we need to provide the Key Vault name. Um, Let me provide the Key Vault name. Yeah, there are basic validations for the keyword name, like it must only contain alphanumeric characters and dashes, and cannot start with a number. So it checks for all these validations. The name is good. And region, you can select the region where this keyword resource needs to be created. You are looking to create in which region. You can select the multiple regions, available regions. I'm going with East US. Pricing tier. We have two options: pricing tiers available, standard and premium. Premium tier is more secure. The secrets which we store in this key vault are encrypted with HSM backed keys, hardware secure module backed keys, whereas standard uses the software uh, secure keys. So it depends on the level of security you needed for the specific keyword resource. And if you are looking for the high security and for the production related keyword resources, so you can go with premium. For now I'm going with standard. And next, recovery options. By default, for any keyword, soft delete is by default enabled by the Azure, so it's in enable state. We cannot disable the soft delete option. And next is days to retain deleted vaults. Like by default the soft delete is enabled, so by default the 90 days is the retention period. Within that period we can restore the deleted walls. So we can change this value, so it can be configured between 7 to 90 days. And one more thing is, once we set this value, we cannot change it the value later. So while creating the keyword itself, we need to provide this value, configure this value, and that cannot be changed later. So I'm going with the default 90. You can change to lesser than the 90. So I recommend to go with the default value 90, so that if in any case the if keyword resource is deleted, you can restore that keyword within that 90 days time period. And patch protection. So by default, software is enabled for the key vault. So and purge production, we have two options, like whether we can disable the purge production or enable the purge production. So if we disable the purge production, we can purge the key vault within the retention period, which means like if the key vault is deleted, it will go to the soft deleted state. So within the 90 days, we can restore that soft deleted key vault. Other option is enable purge protection. So once we choose enable purge protection, it enforces a mandatory retention period for deleted vaults and vault objects, which means once we delete the key vault or key vault objects, it will go into soft deleted state, and there is no option and there is no way to delete this key vault permanently within this time period. which means like once we create the key vault and delete the key vault, and we have to wait for 90 days to create the key vault with the same name again. So there is no option to delete the key vault permanently. It will go into soft delete state, and it will be in the soft delete state until the retention period is complete. Sir. Yeah, path protection is recommended for more secure scenarios. Next section is access policy. So access policy, there are multiple options are available, whether we can choose this option or we can leave as it is. Uh, First one is Azure virtual machines for deployment, as it is saying like whether this key vault is permitted to retrieve certificates stored as secrets from the key vault or not. And it depends upon the requirement and the for the like when it depends upon the purpose of the key vault which you are creating. And other option is whether this key vault is permitted to retrieve secrets from the key vault uh, within the Azure Resource Manager templates, I mean ARM templates. And other option uh, to choose is whether this key vault is permitted to retrieve secrets from the key vault and unwrap keys for the Azure disk encryption. So one I am not selecting. It depends upon the requirement and purpose of the key vault. And coming to permission model, we can choose two options: vault access policy and Azure role-based access control. So Azure role-based access control, it works with Azure RBAC uh, permissions, and by default, permission model is vault access policy. So for vault access policy, we can add the access policies to the key vault, uh, and we can restrict the access for the key vault based on the access policies. So whoever the users or any service principals we add to that access policies. So in the access policy model, we can provide the permissions for the key, secrets, or certificates within the key vault. So we can restrict the permissions for individual key vault objects and also the operations for the specific key vault object. And next section is networking. So in the networking section, we have three options: all networks, selected networks, and private endpoint. So by default, connectivity method is all networks, where we can use the key vault and connect to this key vault from any network. And selected networks is works with the virtual network, and only the connections coming from the specific virtual network are allowed from the selected networks. And private endpoint, it allows to private connection to the resource. Additional private connections also created within the key vault and private link center. And for option 2 and option 3 are for more private network scenarios, but usually like majority of the scenarios by default connectivity method is all networks. And next section is tags. So these tags, whatever we add the tags here, that will add as a tag for the specific vault resource which we are going to create. I'm leaving it as a empty now. And last section is review the entire configurations, and it runs complete validation. And we can see the validation passed. All the validations are passed now. And we can download the template for automation as well. So you can download the template for this key vault um, based on the selected configurations. So we can use this template for in automation scenarios. And once you click on create, it initializes the deployment, and key vault will get created. Thanks for watching.